My brother. General. General. Yes. I would have also to my neighbor. No, I know, but this one is just to make sure I do it on your behalf too. Okay. Yeah, good to see you. How have you been these days? I'm good to see you. Yes. So we just said to come say hello to the family of our great mentor and father, who is now in heaven. Yes. And we started a movement some 5 weeks ago, which is determined to take Nigeria back from the old graduate, political elitist class that has flourished every potential that will be available to Nigeria to become one of the greatest nations on earth, not even in Africa. And then when Gani was here, that was all we tried to do. And that's what the family continues to do. And we just can't imagine ourselves meeting other people without first actually coming there to see family and announce that we will do it on his behalf. What's very stop, we want to continue from there. One of the questions people ask consistently is that, what was it that made it impossible for Gani Fawehinmi not to win an election, the presidential election in Nigeria, when it was obvious that he was a better candidate than any other candidate that presented himself? My simple answer has been that first, even before his time, in every ramification, everything he did, he was ahead of his time. When people didn't understand human rights, when people didn't believe in him, and ordinary, inconsequential lawyer taking on established, powerful, legal luminaries, he used them to rob by sheer hard work. When people didn't understand poverty, how ravaging it is, he used his own personal example to lift himself out of poverty by hard work. And then he started lifting others out of poverty. Some of us are particularly beneficiaries of that. And it wasn't physical poverty that he lifted us out of. He lifted us out of philosophical poverty of human mind. And then he lifted us out of the poverty that was most disruptive, the poverty of education, and poverty of bravery and of courage that was ravaging the land. So that was how we became who we are today, because we had the opportunity to meet him and work with him and allow him to just be the father that we didn't have on the side of whatever he represented. And it's been 5 weeks now that it started, and it's ravaging the land like wildfire. Everybody is out there buying into this idea. We've had several town hall meetings from Lagos to Philadelphia to Maryland. We're going to destroy. We've been to Kano, Kaduna, Abuja, Ibadan was probably our largest. And everywhere we went, there will be so many people inside the hall, and to have a spillover onto the streets. Ibadan, we have about 1,000 people that for 700 sitting and about 300 standing, and another 1,000 outside. So the country is ready. As they say in broken English, young but not mature. And we want to carry you along as well. We just met Professor Shoyinka. I told our colleagues that I was going to see you to not only enlist your support, but to notify you of the hurricane that's about to take on this country. So thank you for accepting to see us on a very short notice. Oh, these are very minimal posters. Yes, out there. Yes.
We didn't state the party.
We have not actually, it's part of why we are here. We are working to build a coalition of parties instead of just taking one party. To take on these monstrous political parties out there, especially biggest behemoths, the two of them, APC. We need a coalition of parties. We met Balarabe Musa in Kaduna. He already offered PRP as a platform. PRP is the oldest political party in Nigeria, 50 years old. We had a meeting with the ANRP, the Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party in Abuja last week. We just heard from another party today, I think it's Youth Democratic Party, who are also decided that they were aligned with us. So we want to be building this coalition across. We have been trying to reach out to NCP to coalitions that are going. It will be our greatest pride if that would be one of the beacons of that coalition. Not because of, it's just that's where our DNA is. So we are genetically members of, whether we register or not, we're part of that party from day one. So finally, just to let Nigerians know that there are alternatives on the horizon. We can do a better job. Far better than all these voters. People sometimes complain that I use languages that are not presidential, but I don't want to be a president of the country which is unable to speak truth to power. So that's what I always know how to do. And that's what Gani Fawehinmi taught us to do in the university, to speak truth to power. It doesn't mean that you take power, you stop taking stuff, that means you stop telling the truth or speaking the truth simply because you are looking for power. No. There was one thing that Professor Patrice Lumumba, the Kenyan erudite speaker, motivational speaker, once said that people without ideas are the ones with power on the continent of Africa.
That's true.
And people with power have got no ideas. And that's the simplest way to describe Africa's biggest problem. So that's my solution.
Welcome, future president, and my fellow comrades.
Yes.
I can't just start jumping up. I'm very overjoyed. But I remember the last interview I had with your institution.
Yes, I have.
I said all the trust we put in this man, based on maybe past records or what we used to know of him, he has disappointed everyone. My own submission then, we were not around, was that we need a very young person. My conclusion was we need someone below the age of 50.
Yeah.
Because APC, PDP was the new party or alleged party which General Ibrahim Babangida retired, is bringing up SDP, are all the same, borrowing your words, jokers, dancing around. They were just there to share the money.
That's right.
Once the money is shared, they give with the citizens the crumbs.
Yes.
Meanwhile, whenever they have health challenges, they go abroad to enjoy what just the local government of the places they are can provide. I'm very happy that you have taken this challenge, and God will see you through. It just pains me that Chief Gani Fawehinmi is not alive. This movement will have taken a tumbler effect. Something you yourself would never have envisaged. But I urge all the youths in this country to support you. I know you are an industry man. You started with nothing. You've grown an industry around the media. Everybody knows your story. You got to a stage, you were following when they went to blackmail you, and I was just laughing. You don't know this one is not one of those funny media institutions where you give money and you talk rubbish. You will say truth to fact. And I recall, whenever you came to visit my late dad, it was always you and him in the room. I don't know what you were always talking about. Yes. But you told me, you go and tell your mother to prepare the food. It used to annoy me, but you know, a man like Gani will always pick quality men. He will pick intellectuals. He will pick people who are intelligently sound. To run Nigeria, it takes common sense. It doesn't take being a doctor of fisheries like Goodluck Jonathan. It doesn't take illiterates like Obasanjo, IDB, and the rest of them. They were only lucky because they were military men. But now, we need someone who is non-military, non-establishment man. Someone who can go there. This is what we want. We are catering for 190 million people. This is how we are going to take care of them. We have 774 local governments. This is how we are going to provide for them. You are a young man. You have mentioned all the places you have traveled to. Buhari, in his 3 years of being elected president, has not been to 3 of those places.
Yes.
You only go with injections and drugs. And according to them, they have to go and search security. One thing does not realize is, if that is so rough, you don't want to kill him there, they kill him there. And nothing will happen.
It's not even before.
But let's leave all that one. Your plan, I pray it works. And I pray I'll be there on that day to vote.
Amen.
I know you know what to do. You don't need to be taught what to do. I know you bring fresh ideas. You don't need to say, hey, so welcome. You know, this is how we used to do it. Remember that some guys are some guys sharing all the money. It's not going to happen because there is Gani products. And I know you had a secret part with Gani. We will know later. You've not said anything about that one. You just said it's in your DNA. Eventually we will know from the way you act. And I've followed your track record. So I just pray that the Nigerian youths will open their eyes and not follow these deadbeats. You call them jokers, I call them deadbeats. IBB can't be as intelligent as I am. He's 30 years older than I am. Buhari cannot think faster than I am. 30 years old than I am. But we thought being an ex-general, he would be able to come and be a father to the nation. They have shown us who is not going to London. Another old man said, we tried. Nobody can do better. I pray God will see you through.
Amen.
And you will now prove to them that Nigeria can still be better.
Exactly, that's right.
I said that your institution that in agriculture alone, Nigeria can generate $1.46 trillion.
That's true.
Forget oil, forget gas, forget all the mineral resources.
Lazy economy.
But they put out the big.
It was Minister in 1979.
Who was Minister in 1979. Who now, I believe, it should be about 83 or 84. What can I do to bring to the table? Nothing. his first suggestion showed that he was totally incompetent. You should go and import grass from Brazil. Anyway, I want to ask you a question. Who's going to be your running mate?
That exploration is also still ongoing. So make sure that we find a lot. We are looking at a lot of candidates, and we interview them, interrogate them, do background checks, which I know how to do very well as an investigator myself, and come up with possibly the best. But what is also important, which you should not lose sight of, we are not giving the impression that we know it all. So part of the reason I came to see it that look, now we should have a better synergy to keep working on ideas. I started to get your numbers, so we put you on our strategy committee so that you can be throwing in your own ideas there on WhatsApp. And when physical meetings are needed, you can also join. Because this is going to be an all volunteer system. Yes. When they started, as you probably followed, people didn't take it serious. They thought you needed money, billions of naira to. They don't know that Nigerians have become very wise. And they are no longer taken in by branded rice, Ankara, and all those optimistic, with which they have sentenced their future. I mean, politics became a grinding machine process. It means that you have destroyed it and smashed it into what can only be consumed. Grinding is not the same thing as refining. But that's what they did. They had a connotation. That grinding machine economy, they had a connotation. They are grinding the destiny of Nigerians and it's falling out as dust on the other side of the machine. That's what politicians did. Like distributing grinding machine to people. Go and grind your future. Go and grind your destiny. Go and grind your economy. Go and grind your... So, when you finish your grinding of all of these substances of life, they will now package it and ask you to swallow it. And when you swallow it and you are sweating, and you go to them and say, we need schools, so they say, but we have given you stomach infrastructure. That's what they cost you. They use blender machines to grind it and give it to you to swallow. And they will now point to your stomach and say, I want the stomach infrastructure now. All your bridging schools, they grinded it together through the grinding machine and ask you to eat it. And they tell you, without even blinking, that stomach infrastructure and people will be getting that. This is the only country. It's such a frontier. It's part of what will become history. This movement that we have started and it's growing very rapidly. As you can imagine, they are not campaigning as we speak. They are not meeting people. They are relying on paper money. They are branding their cars and packaging their small rice. But it will fail them in 2019.
Amen.
And that is what Gani taught us.
It's just the youth.
Yes.
You have the focus.
Yeah.
It's just the youth.
Yeah. And we must keep speaking to them. They are listening to us as we speak. They are on Facebook Live. They are listening to you. We keep telling them that if we can all make the decision very quick now, the transition program will be very short. We can even start forming our cabinets before the election. Because the defeat can come even before the election itself. And it will be very clear to them in the horizon that they've lost. Just like Jonathan knew that he lost the election on February 14, even though they postponed the election again by 2 weeks. But on that day, his fate was decided. And on February 14 again, his central Valentine's Day, Buhari's fate will be decided, and by February 15, we will have a new nation that we can call our own. From people in Empower, Kano, to Kwara Namuda, to Ekwe, to Rumukoro, to Ogoniland, everybody we have in Nigeria that we can call their own. That is not a Nigeria that is building darkness instead of light. There is not a Nigeria that has schools that don't teach people and not enlighten anyone. In Nigeria where doctors only give advice in our hospitals. And as I like to say, when you go after 3 days, you will say it's malaria. After 4 days or 5 days, you will upgrade it to typhoid. If it reaches 10 days, you will ask you to go and see a pastor. The pastor, a doctor referring you to the pastor, you know the country is finished. Or a man, as the case may be. Or even sometimes you ask you to go and see Babalawo. Yes. But all of that is about to end. And we are very confident that we will come to an end. That era of Buccaneers taking our people for a ride and bastardizing a nation of 198 million people come to an end, and we'll be able to take control of our destinies immediately. So that's it, and thank you once again. Our operatives will be back, and I will come back again to see you.
This is your second home.
Yes, absolutely.
Already.
The only thing is that in those days, if you stay this long, the chief will have them make money. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Alright, so we're hitting the road again.
General.
Nigeria, they use computer. The leaders of Nigeria, they use radio where they turn the knob.